Everyone wants to leave a legacy of positivity in the world around them. Whether you are a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, a nonprofit executive director, or even a soon-to-be entrepreneur, one fact is always true. The easiest and most effective way to catalyze change in the world around you is through commerce and through business. But how do you do it? You've come to the right place. Welcome to the Changemakers Collective, a place where people can come and get educated and encouraged and empowered to be the impact agent in the world around them. Brought to you by Silverback Ventures, Steff Thomas and Scott Woods have over 50 years combined experience helping companies and owners amplify the voice and multiply the impact of purpose-driven businesses. Join us each week as we discuss what it means to live a life of purpose on purpose.
Well, welcome back to the Changemaker Collective. This is Stephanie, and that is...
Hey, I'm Scott.
We're super excited to be with you all today. We're going to talk about vision statements.
The thing that hangs on your wall that you don't ever look at ever again.
It's funny that you said that, Scott, because, we talk to people all the time about their vision statements, and I'm like, okay, what's your vision statement? And they have to look it up.
Oh, yeah, there's no question. There's no question. There's no question that they teach it in business school. Mm-hmm. You have to write it in your business plan, but very few people actually know what it is. And when you ask them, they will often flip-flop and conflate mission statement with vision statement. So we're gonna dispel all of those misinformations. And while mission is important, if you don't know where your destination is, you will always have struggles. Always. Had that conversation yesterday. One of our clients yesterday has been in business for 35 years, still doesn't know where their vision is going.
Okay. I think I have two pet peeves when I talk to people about vision statements. The first one is they have no idea what their vision statement is. The second one is they spent $30,000 to create it.
Oh, come on, man. This is not rocket science. It's important,
it's
but it's not.
Right.
And it's very, I think we do a good job of mining that information out of people. But your vision statement is in you.
Right.
As the business owner, you are the one that comes up with the vision statement.
Let's talk a little bit about how you get a vision statement.
Yeah. I mean, we've said this a number of times on this podcast. You start a business to solve a problem.
Right. What problem do you want to solve? Write that sentence down.
Yeah. And when you solve it, what does it look like?
How does that impact
How does the world
world
change?
Right.
That's your vision statement. Just in a nutshell. Yes.
It could be sentence or two.
Yes.
Not paragraph.
No. I was trying yesterday, and this is a good time to talk about it because I was literally talking about this yesterday. I said to the CEO, I need your vision to be less than 4 words.
Yeah.
That's it. It's got to be punchy. It's got to be straight to the point. It's got to be specific, and it's got to be portable. It's got to roll off the tongue of every single person in the organization.
You know, it's funny that you brought that up. A lot of things you're saying today is kind of funny there, Scott.
Well, that's how I am. I am a funny guy.
Company's been around since 1992. They are one of the ones that have spent tons of money on first creating a vision statement, then recreating the vision statement. And us walking into the business can pretty much identify what they do in the 4 words.
Yes.
So it's sometimes confusing why everybody in that company can't just say, well, I mean, we do these 3 things and we do it well.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a leadership problem, right? I mean, I think and they're not on their original leader, right? So the
6
vision as you go forward, the problem you're trying to solve shouldn't generally change.
Right.
And this is where we get back to the difference between mission and vision.
Right.
Your vision is the result that will occur if all of your wildest dreams come true.
Right.
If we solve the problem that we set out to solve, this is what it looks like.
Right.
And your mission is the tactical things that you're using to get there.
Right. Which is what you said a while ago. People get those confused.
They 100% get those because it's much easier for people to understand in their normal conversational language, mission rather than vision.
Right.
Vision kind of has this connotation of being a little ethereal and a little out there. And what are you talking about? It's, there's going to be like a bright light shining down. It's going to just be imparted onto me. No, that's not it at all. What are you trying to solve? And the how you're going to solve it is your mission. So again, going back to this client we have, they're on their sixth, I guess you said, leader.
Yeah, I think it's sixth leader.
And
since 1992.
there is a new vibe, not a new mission per se or a new vision per se, but a new way to talk about it.
Well, let's pause there.
Yeah,
because that's a hard thing.
That is a hard thing. I agree with you.
People to get over. So, right, people often ask, okay, how often do you revisit your vision? Well, your vision is your vision is your vision. Now, how you get there changes. So, telemarketers.
Yes. Yeah, that's I know where you're going with this.
Right.
You're going down the right path.
Right. So you used to have to call everybody. Then you emailed everybody. Then you text everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Now you do something else, right? But at the end of the day, the vision is to connect to the people with your product.
Yes.
How you did it is different.
We talk about it all the time as a metaphor of climbing a mountain. Your view from the top of that mountain, and even where we're sitting now in Novice Studios' new studio space, which looks awesome, by the way.
Good
Congratulations. Job. This was part of Kristen's vision.
Right.
When she and I first sat down, I said, tell me what success looks like. And I said, I want you to tell me how it smells, how it looks, how it feels, who's around you. And this space is part of that. Mm-hmm. When you get to the top of the mountain, you need to be able to articulate, what are you going to yell to the rest of the world? I have completed everything I set out to do. And they're going to go, how do you know? You better know what that is.
Right.
You better know what this. And I think that's hard. People will quickly create their vision statement and their mission statement and their value statements because it's somewhat required on their business plan. But if you don't, and this is what's happened with this other client, if everybody in the organization does not understand and see how their role gets the organization closer to that mountaintop, everything will go sideways. Everything will be slower and inefficient.
Right.
And
okay. You have organizational fog, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, a couple things that we say often is, well, by we, I really just mean me. I say, are you wagging the tail or is the tail wagging the dog?
Yeah, that's true.
So if there's not clarity, which that is really organizational fog, if the leader can't paint the picture, if the leader can't roll the vision statement off and everybody do just what you say, I know this is my part to get us to the top of Mount Everest, then people just do renegade stuff, not for nefarious reasons.
No, they just don't know.
They just don't know.
They just don't know. They know that they were hired to be the bookkeeper, so they're going to do their thing, or they're hired to be the marketing person. They're just going to continue to do the same thing that's been done for the last 30 years because they don't understand where they're going.
So I think the
fog thing is super important, though, because if you think about, and I know you've used this analogy with a bunch of clients, if you're driving down the road, we have all been in a situation where we go, man, I obviously could drive home with my eyes closed because I couldn't even tell you what was happening on my drive. I'm on autopilot.
Right.
The reason you're on autopilot is because you know your destination.
Right.
The opposite is also true. If you don't know where you're going, you're going to be much more paying attention to the road and the curves and everything else.
Okay. When we are talking through vision statements, right? So organizational fog. If everything is cloudy, you are tense, you're looking behind you, you
slow down.
You slow down. You're ultra focused on just your section.
Yep. Your 3 feet circle, 100% true.
You don't collaborate with people. And so what ultimately happens is you have one person that wears 15 hats and you have somebody else that's, silently quitting because they just don't feel valued in the company. Now, I know that's very different when you're like, hey, well, what's your vision statement? If you don't know that this is the result of not having a vision statement, then
yes.
You need to go back to the drawing board.
So that's super important. So let's rewind all the way back to the beginning. Yeah. There should be some kind of music there.
Right?
That would be very cool. That would be very cool. Like, like Jim Carrey, where he just kind of rewinds. I think it's super, super, super important to be able to define what a vision statement is. Your vision statement clearly defines what success looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimate success, not near-term success, ultimate success, right? So, if you want to, go ahead.
That's realistic, right? Like, I want to put a ring on every human being's pinky in the next world
right
tomorrow. Well, that's just not attainable.
Well, we've talked about Samaritan's Feet previously on this podcast. When Manny first rolled out his vision for Samaritan's Feet, it was to put 10 million pairs of shoes on 10 million kids' feet in 10 years.
Very specific.
10, 10, 10. 3 words. Easy to remember, easy to articulate across the entire organization. A huge, hairy, audacious goal. 10 million people is a lot of people. This was at the same time where he was washing and distributing used shoes out of his garage. So to go to a donor or go to a former or future teammate and say, hey, by the way, my vision is for 10 million shoes, 10 million kids in 10 years. Everybody had to catch the excitement around what that may look like.
Right.
How is that going to change the world? It is the same way when you're creating your vision. And this is going to poke some entrepreneurs in the eye because they're going to go, well, I don't really have anything that audacious. So why are you doing what you're doing?
Okay, funny. So I was speaking with a girl that she makes candles, right?
Okay.
So you can go to Walmart and get a candle. And I'm like, well, what makes yours unique? She said, well, my candles look like physical desserts. And I am like,
cool.
Let me see that. So it looked like you could eat it. Really, right?
Yeah, that's problematic.
Right. Well, and I said, okay, so now look, legally, what's that going to look like? Because a child, and she said, oh, well, my goal was to put a dessert-filled candle in every home in my neighborhood by Christmas.
Beautiful.
I said,
that's a vision statement.
Right.
Now that's a vision statement. Is she solving world peace?
No.
But you've got a clear, defined, easy to remember, easy to share definition of what success looks like.
And it's attainable, 100% attainable.
Yes. For our listeners who are thinking about starting a business, take the time to really sit down and say, why am I doing this? Oftentimes you can go back to what prompted you to say, hey, you know what? I should do this. Somebody or yourself or somebody around you said, man, you're really good at blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You should do that. And at some point you said, I am really good at that. Here's where my unique gifts, talents, and passions meet a need in the world.
Okay. Good point. Right. So is it a company or is it a hobby?
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. That's harder, right? Especially when you're first starting, because very often
your hobby becomes your company.
Your hobby becomes your business. But very often, if you can't articulate how your business is going to meet a need, you don't have one.
Right.
And I'm sorry for all those people who are listening going, you're out of your mind. There's no way. This is a great idea. I'm going to put pinky rings on everybody's finger. Well, no, nobody wants that.
Right.
Why would you want to do that?
Right.
What problem are you trying to solve? Every business starts with a problem. Everyone.
Right. A real business.
A problem doesn't necessarily have to be a worldwide epidemic.
No.
A problem could be
we solve a problem.
Your friend's neighborhood needs to smell better.
She's got a stinky neighborhood.
So we're putting candles in there.
Right.
Everybody wants one of these. It doesn't have to be, solving world peace.
Scott, okay, Silverback, right? So when you and I started, we said, hey, okay, we have these two expertise, but we know a lot of people that we can channel partner with. Just, we can help build a community that's
Yes.
building a community, right?
Yeah. I mean, we sat back and said, how often have we worked for as employees or had friends who started businesses that just needed a hand?
Right.
And couldn't get it in the traditional sense, couldn't afford a consultant or couldn't afford to start their business and couldn't get funding because they didn't know what they were doing.
Right.
So we set out and said, look, we want to help amazing people doing amazing things do it better.
And 1 + 1?
It's got to be greater than 2, right?
There you go.
We tailored our entire business model around how do we, with our expertise, then partner with people who have complementary expertises to have a hub of impact that we can provide for people that wouldn't normally have access.
Right.
And how do we help amazing people doing amazing things? I mean, it sounds somewhat cliche, but it rolls off your tongue. We want to help purpose-driven businesses do it better.
Right. Easy vision statement for us.
Yes.
Right? It didn't have to be complicated.
No. And we probably have taglines that go along with that, right? We are educating, encouraging, and empowering purpose-driven businesses. Depending on the setting, that's going to resonate with people.
So, Scott, another thing, just like hey, you got a vision statement, great, good job. But our vision statement that you just said is right at the bottom of our email. It is so quick and easy.
Yep. Empowering impact businesses. Yes.
We can put it on everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and I didn't need my dictionary to figure out what I was saying.
Well, you didn't have to look it up.
Right.
And why is that?
Well, because we just need to simplify.
Because you own it.
Right. Well, yeah, there's that.
You embody it. That's why we do what we do.
Right.
It's ingrained. If what you're doing in your business is not the confluence of your gifts, talents, and passions, then you're just making widgets.
Right. So I think you and I come
and
at
you'll never be as excited and as happy as if you were actually working in and around your passion.
Right. You and I are coming at it from two places, right? You're coming at it from I need to so internalize and know exactly what my vision statement is that it gives me joy to even say it. And I'm coming from, as an outsider looking in, just on your statement alone, like, I get it. I see what they're doing.
Yes. No, that's an outstanding point. Because if we get it, and we're drinking our own Kool-Aid and nobody else has any idea what we're talking about, that's a bit of a problem.
And it's unfortunate, Scott, right? Because we sit down with people regularly and we say, hey, we pulled your vision statement off your website. Oh, you did? Yes.
What is it again?
Right.
Yeah.
And okay, well, here's what it says now. Now, talk me through that. Let's pull out all the mission stuff. Here is what we think you're saying. Well, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay.
Well, again, that goes back to the original statement that very often your vision statement, your mission statement, those two specifically, value statements are easier, right? That's just who you are. They're easier to craft. But a vision statement is often written in haste when you're having to fill out some kind of paperwork.
Right.
I hate to say that, but that's just generally how it happens.
Right.
Because most people don't think about it.
And then you put it away.
Yeah. Most people say, all right, I got to put this on a piece of paper somewhere. I got to come up with it on my FAQs on my website or About Us page, but nobody's going to look at that. And what we're saying is, if that's not what you're living and breathing and working towards every single day, especially as you scale your business, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to be less efficient. You're going to be less likely to recruit people because they don't share a unified vision for what the future looks like.
Fog. It's just fog. So yeah, you're right. And it is easy to look at it as fog.
Oh yeah, no, fog's a great example.
Get stuck. So let's say, hey, vision statement is important. If you have a vision statement
is not just important. Vision statement is essential.
Right.
If you don't know your destination, every pathway looks like a good choice.
Well, There you go. Okay, so we use anyone that knows anything about Mount Everest, we know that you have first of all, you have to condition yourself to trek to the top. You don't just wake up and say, I'm going to take my new sneaks and go to the top. There's all kinds of things. There are schleppers that help you take stuff to the top, and you go to base camp.
What was the name of those people? Schleppers?
That's not their real name, but they're
Sherpas.
Yeah, there you go. But they're schlepping your stuff. Oh, my Lord.
You've now offended all of the.
I'm so sorry.
All of those Sherpas in Tibet that are helping people up the mountain.
Okay, so they take your stuff to the top, but you go to different base camps. And so I'm giving all that to say, a lot of times when we sit down with people and we say, where are you trying to get to? Let's look at your vision statement so that we can start scaling your business.
Yeah. Everything goes from there.
Right. And you can say, you don't go to the top. There is a path, but on the flip side of that, if there's mission creep and you're true to your vision statement, you can pick out mission creep really quickly.
Yeah. The opposite is also true. Right?
Yep.
If you don't know where you're going, then every shiny object off to the left and to the right goes, oh, yeah, let's go over there. And everybody goes, oh, okay. And they follow you, and then you're off the side of the mountain.
Well, here's what people think, right? We were just talking to someone, and they were like, we throw paint on the wall and see what sticks.
See what sticks.
Okay, well, stop it. You're wasting money. Yeah. You're wasting time. If you're a nonprofit and people are giving you donations to one thing you said is your vision, and then you switch and say, now, this is their vision, it's not fair.
All right, so let's talk about, for the last couple of seconds we have here, how do you do it?
Okay.
What problem are you trying to solve? It's as simple as that. Whether it's your stinky neighbor's house or world peace or shoeless children or small businesses that can't seem to get ahead, start with what problem you're trying to solve. Then talk about and incorporate why you're doing that. Because if you can articulate what makes you passionate about this and what also makes you uniquely qualified to solve that problem, your vision statement will coalesce out of that conversation. We know in our business, we have the ability to encourage and educate and empower impact-focused businesses. Because of our expertise, because of our passions, we want to see that happen. It was as simple as that. For us, writing our vision statement was fairly easy. It was harder to narrow it down because we had so many other taglines that went along with that. But when you boil it down, we're about helping amazing people do amazing things better.
Right.
And when you find where your gifts, talents, and passions meet a need in the world, that's where your vision statement lives. You just have to put it all together. And if you're stuck, call us. We'll be happy to walk you through. We've done workshops on vision statements and mission statements and value statements for a number of companies, both 2 or 3 employees up to 200 employees, up to 2,000 employees. These are conversations that need to happen all the time, and you need to revisit it, not to change your vision, but to ensure what your activities are aligns with getting you closer to the vision. Because once you know your destination, it's much easier to say no to things that are taking you off of the path.
It allows you to live a life of purpose.
Oh man, I could talk about this for days and days and days, but we're not going to do that. So hook us up, give us a call, give us an email. We will be happy to walk your organization through what that workshop looks like. The show notes has links to all of our contact information. So until next time, live a life of purpose on purpose.
Thank you for listening to the Changemakers Collective. If you've enjoyed this episode, please help us grow our community by leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or rating us on Spotify.
You can also find our podcast on YouTube, so you can come and leave us a comment over there as well. If you want support growing your business and scaling your vision, visit us at silverbackventures.org or connect with us on LinkedIn.
Thanks again, and we'll see you on our next episode.